Okay, let's go ahead and try this problem using long division here. So first of all, we're going to take this and we're going to ask ourselves, 3y times what is 3y squared? So hopefully you're thinking, y. If I take 3y and I multiply by y, we would get 3y squared. So that's what's going to go here. And then we're going to multiply it also with the 4. So 4 times y is 4y. Then we're going to go ahead and subtract, and this is going to cancel. And then here we're going to have positive 7 minus 4, which is 3. Then we're going to bring down the negative 6, and now we're going to ask ourselves the following question. We're going to ask ourselves 3y times what is 3y? So hopefully you're thinking 1. 3y times 1 is 3y. So now we're going to go ahead and multiply that 1 to the 4, which is a positive 4. So now we're going to go ahead and subtract. 3y, take away 3y, that's 0. And then right here we have a negative 6, and then we have this minus right here. So minus a positive 4. And negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. So now putting this all together, our final answer is going to be this. So y plus 1. And then since this remainder here, this is the remainder, is negative, we're either going to put minus 10 over this right here, so 3y plus 4. So that's one way to write our answer, or we could also write it in this way. We can write it as y plus 1 plus negative 10 over 3y plus 4. Okay, so now we're going to try it using the synthetic division method. However, as we see in our notes here, it is not recommended to use synthetic division for this one. A problem like this, and let's talk about why. So we take the denominator and we set it equal to 0 and we solve. So we're going to subtract 4. And then we're going to divide by 3. And because here we have a negative 4/3, which is a fraction, if we get a fraction, it is not recommended to use synthetic division. But we can still use it, so we can put the negative 4/3 here. And then we're going to take the coefficients, so we're going to put a 3 here. We're going to put a 7, positive 7 here. And we're going to put a negative 6 inside here. And then we always put a 0 here and add, and then we're going to multiply here. So negative 4/3 times 3 is negative 4. Then we're going to add, then we're going to multiply here. So negative 4/3 times 3 is negative 4, and then we're going to add, and we get negative 10. So that makes our final answer. We always look here. If the exponent here, if the numerator is a 2, then this is going to be a y, and this is going to be plus 3, and this is our remainder here. So this is why I don't recommend it, is because you have to remember here, when you take your answer here, is you have to see if there's anything that can divide out of it. And then we throw that 3 away, and we would just have 1y plus 1. And then we would have our remainder, which is negative 10 over 3y plus 4. Or again, we can write that as y plus 1 plus negative 10 over 3y plus 4. And as you can see, that is the exact same solution we got here. We got the y plus 1, and we got the negative 10. Just a completely different way of doing it, but I wouldn't recommend this method if when you set the denominator equal to 0, if you get a fraction, I wouldn't recommend it because I have seen often that students will forget to simplify this out here. Okay, so to take our answer, we're going to take our denominator, which is 3y plus 4, and we're going to multiply it by our answer here. So we're going to take the y plus 1, and we're going to multiply those, and then at the end we're going to subtract 10. So let's go ahead and multiply. So we get 3y squared plus 3y plus 4y, and then plus 4. And then this just gets brought down. We're going to go ahead and combine the like terms. So we have 7y here. And as you can see, this is not the numerator. And the reason why it's not is because we have to take this negative 10 here and include it with this positive 4. And a negative 10 and a positive 4 makes negative 6. So it checks out and it works because we end up, when we multiply the denominator by our answer and then include the remainder, we will get the numerator value. Just like with division without the variable expressions, just like if we had 5 goes into 45 9 times, these two should multiply to get that number there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start dividing. We're going to use the long division method here. So we're going to take our x plus 4, put our 2x squared plus 11x plus 12 in here. And remember, it needs to be in descending order, so if we have an x squared and that's the highest, then we need an x to the first power, and then the constant. So since that's in order here, now we're ready to begin. Now the strategy is, if this is a 2, this is always going to be to the first power here. And we need to figure out x times what gets us 2x squared. So hopefully you're thinking 2x. So that's how I know that this is 2x here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and multiply. We're going to take 2x and multiply by x, and that's 2x squared. These should always be the same if we did it correctly. And then we have 2x times 4, so 2x times 4 is 8x. So we put plus 8x because it's positive. Then the next thing, when we do long division, we subtract. 2x take away 2x is 0. And then here we have 11x minus, so 11x minus 8x. And 11x minus 8x is 3x. Then after we subtract, we bring down the next number, which is positive 12. And the next thing we should be thinking about is x times what is 3x. So hopefully you're thinking 3. So that's how I know that this is going to be a positive 3 here. So now we're going to take this 3, multiply it to the x, which is 3x, and then this 3 multiplied by the 4 is 12. And then we subtract. 3x take away 3x is 0, and 12 take away 12 is 0, so this is the remainder. The remainder is 0. So our answer is 2x plus 3, and it has a remainder of 0, so it's just 2x plus 3. Now let's go ahead and try this problem again, but this time let's show it with synthetic division. So with synthetic division, you take the denominator, you set it equal to 0, and you solve. So that is our number that is on the outside. And then the numbers that go on the inside are the coefficients of this polynomial in the numerator, and the constant as well. So then we put a 0 here, and we add. 2 plus 0 is 2, and then we multiply these. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And then we're going to add these. 11 plus negative 8 is 3. Then we're going to multiply these. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. And then we're going to add these, and it gets 0. So now these here are the coefficients of our answer. So now remember, if this is x squared, this is going to represent x. It's always one less whatever's in the numerator there. So we would get 2x plus 3, because this is the remainder. Okay, so if we want to check it, we're going to take our denominator, which is x plus 4, and we're going to multiply it to our answer here. And make sure that it gets us our numerator. So if we multiply 2x times x is 2x squared, x times 3 is 3x, 4 times 2 is 8x, and 4 times 3 is 12. Then we combine the like terms, and as we can see, we get our numerator, so we know we checked it, it's correct.